Getting started in car sales. When did you do it again? Like what year did you originally start?
So it was right before COVID really hit.
So 2019?
Yeah, about early 2019 till about 21-ish.
What made you want to apply originally?
Well,
like what was going through your head looking for a job?
So I kind of grew up in the car industry, right?
Yeah.
My dad's been in the car business since he was 18, so I decided I had also worked as a tech before, but where the money is in car sales. In sales period. I know cars. I've been on the tech side of things, and it's all right. But I could just not get dirty. I could sit at a desk and just talk to people and make good money. So I thought I'd try it out. It was interesting, and so yeah, I applied to a few places. I got rejected at a bunch of like those regular mom and pop little car sales and stuff like that. And I walked into this Walser dealership and got me a job right there.
Do you remember the first interview? Was it multiple interviews or just one?
It was just one interview with two people. I interviewed with the general manager, and then I interviewed with who eventually kind of turned into the used car salesman, like within a week of me starting. Talked with the general manager first, and it was a lot of stuff I've done in the past. If there was upselling, what kind of upselling, how did you upsell in those positions, whether or not I was successful at it, and why, and little things like that. A really long actual interview too. It was a couple hours. And then I talked to the used car salesman, and it was just more, hey, here's the hours, this is what you can expect, at least for pay, and the rate of pay and stuff like that, and how things kind of work, because it's a little bit of a different car dealership than typical ones, which we can get into. And just like that, the job is mine.
Yeah, you want to explain how it is different, or summed up version maybe, or
so whatever. Basically, typically when you go to a car sales, right, to old school, you go in, hey, this is the car I want. You negotiate on your trade a bunch. Then you negotiate on the actual car you want. They do a little 4-square system. And then you say, hey, I want to be at a $300 monthly payment. And then they do whatever it takes to get you to that $300 monthly payment, even if they have to go crazy on the rates, the term, whatever it is, they get you to that car payment. It's like, hey, sign on this line. All right, you agree to it. Then you go off to the finance guy, and then you go down that long road. Where I worked, it was upfront pricing, so the price was what it was. There was no finance guy. It was a one-stop. Hey, I was your salesman. I was your greeter. I was your finance guy, and sometimes I even cleaned your fucking car for you. It was a one-stop shop, which was...
Wait, clean the new car or the previous car they had?
So we didn't have detailers sometimes, so I would have to go and clean the new car.
What the fuck? Why don't they come clean?
Well, I mean, people will drive, do test drives and stuff like that. Plus, then also put new gas into it. Make sure it's all topped off or whatever. Or if you got a used car, make sure you at least had a quarter tank of gas. Do mats, quick car wash, and quick little vacuum. Make sure it smells all pretty. And there you go.
So during the interview, any of the answers, did you completely bullshit it?
I mean, you bullshit basically everything. So the previous job I had was in pest control, and I was in pest control for a while, like 5-ish plus years.
Yeah.
And there was some upselling that you could do in some spots, but it didn't really pay. Like I could upsell something for $1,000, and they would pay me like 10, 15, maybe $20. So it wasn't really worth my time to spend doing the pitch and then get paid for it.
Yeah.
So instead, what I did was I just did my services and I went home. But when I went into the interview, I was upselling like crazy. I was one of the number one upsellers in the company.
In pest control history.
Period. And I had this full proof of how I upsold and whatever. Because even if I didn't necessarily upsell in that position, I upsold myself in that interview, so it shows I can do it.
Perfect.
The actual answer to the question doesn't really matter. So it matters is I could do it.
Do you remember any other weird questions during the interview? Or
No, I just remember Mike, the GM. He was hammering in on the pest control stuff and the stuff you could upsell and why and how I did it to see it, because obviously going from killing bugs to selling cars is a crazy big jump, and it's a completely different industry and stuff like that. But when I told him that I had been in the industry prior, but more as a tech, he got a little bit more interested because his used car manager was actually a tech for 5 years, and then he came in and just sold cars like it was fucking candy. So so he was kind of licking his lips a little bit at that. So but he was a real cool guy though.
Quick clarifying question. So your previous experience, you said as a tech, so did you do like body work or like under the hood?
So
body work, right?
So body work, a little bit under the hood. Like I know my way around underneath the hood a little bit. Nowadays with all the computers and stuff, it's a lot harder obviously. So I just, especially with my car and I have warranties and stuff like that, I just go to Valvoline for all that stuff because it has to all be documented and shit. But like I know my way around, but it was mostly auto body, a lot of buffing cars. Really, is like the meat and potatoes of it. I made a lot of money buffing cars.
Good. How long after until you knew you had the job? Like they call you a day later?
No, I knew at the end.
Oh, at the end they said you hired? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, hey, when can you start? And I was like, Monday. And I was, all right. That was that.
How would the training go? Assuming they did some kind of training, they didn't just, here's a name tag and sell cars and here's a tablet or computer or whatever?
No, so there was training. So there was a period. So I had left for like a month and a half when COVID really started because a lot of people got laid off, and I went and I did a little bit of side work and other work, going kind of back to pest control but not fully. So I kind of was in car sales twice, right? And both times I had sort of some training. When I first initially started, I had a lot of training. First getting into the dealership, it was, here's the cars, you need to learn all of these cars up and down. You had like all the internet trainings that told you the difference between all the engines, the trims, everything. And then we had corporate training to learn the ins and outs of Walser and financing and paperwork and how to do trade-ins, what not to do, how to do to walk around a car, and the things to point out when you walk around a car. And kind of on our production meeting, one thing we could do for like a little video is do like a walk around type of thing, and the stuff they trained us on to show when you walk around a car. That'd be kind of cool for a video, and it'd be really quick. I mean, they show literally everything from the moment a customer walks in the door to when they drive away, all the steps, and you had to show the whole class that you could do those steps. It was sort of some script work, and you could kind of make it your own because your bread and butter was warranties. Warranties.
Yeah. All right. So some good training. I know some places in sales, the training is just like, don't lie, be ethical. Yeah. Just shit like that. But no, that was, it sounds like it was really detailed. Yeah. And helpful.
Even then, like sales stuff is like, don't lie, but embellish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or like the training videos say don't lie, but then your manager will be like, do whatever it takes. So then, how long after the training did you feel like until you actually really understood what you were doing?
After I sold a couple cars. Because it's a lot, right? Because it's the learning how to talk to a customer, learning all about the warranties, learning how to do a proper test drive. Because there's a good way of doing a test drive, and then there's the way I was doing it when I started.
You got like a story? Like, how were you at first doing test drives? Like, how do you fuck that up?
So my first customer, right? It was literally my very first thing, because we got these internet leads, right? It was when you're on any website. If I have that car and you click on it, I have all your information, right? Yeah. So I had this internet lead. I called him up. He came in because it was supposed to be a car for his daughter, right? It was supposed to be like a graduation, send you off to college little gift, right? Yeah. I had not fully understood warranties yet, like, because they were all kind of jumbled, because there was like 4 or 5 different warranties that I had to remember, because there was a Walser warranty that you got, but then you also have the General Motors warranty, and there's 2 of them from there, and it was all getting jumbled, so I didn't fully understand it, right? So we were looking around the car and we were talking, we were bullshitting, and I kind of like loosened up, right? Because he was laughing, I had him laughing, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna sell a car. And for those that don't know, right, you get 2 warranties from the manufacturer, right? You get a 336, which is 3 years, 36,000 mile, on like a bumper to bumper warranty. You get a 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. He asked me how much was left on the warranty. I had no clue. I didn't look at the Carfax on this used car. I didn't look at anything like that. And I just saw it was a 20, like, I think it was a 2017. So I was like, about 2-ish years left or so. Because I was just going straight off the year.
Yeah.
My dumb ass didn't know it depends on when the fucking car was bought. I told this dude completely wrong warranty stuff, everything. So we go do a little like test drive stuff. We get back. He wants me to pull up the Carfax. So I pull up the Carfax. He knew I was fucking up. He just didn't correct me. Because I told him there was like 3 years left on this bumper to bumper warranty. There was a 1.5 years left. So instead of being, hey, this is actually what happened. No, the dude blew up at me like, you're gonna fucking, you knew this was wrong. You're just trying to like pressure me into this, and you were wrong. You're gonna basically reset the manufacturer warranty. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
So then I got one of like not like a manager or anything like that, just another salesman. Like, can you fucking help me with this? I have no idea what I'm doing. It's literally my first day on the floor by myself.
Yeah.
And she basically came in. She was one of the most annoying salesmen ever, but she never let customers walk over her type of thing. So it was the perfect person to ask. And yeah, she handled the situation. It was like, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, this is how it is. Customer said he no longer wanted to work with me. So yeah, I didn't get the deal. I did get like half a deal off of it though, which was nice.
Yeah, that's just weird to me that someone was that upset about a 1.5 year difference in a warranty. It's yeah, weird to me.
Customers come in, like I said, kind of right before we started recording. They come in like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of a salesman, and I'm going to do anything I can to get something out of a car salesman, and thinking that the car salesman is going to do anything they can to get something out of a customer. Now, sometimes that's 100% true. You know, if I smell a deal, I'm going for that deal. But there's little nitpicks and stuff. I have a billion stories on little stupid things for customers and stuff like that, trying to nitpick every little thing. It was one of the reasons I got out. Got a little much.
So I guess with this guy in particular, too, just to make this clear. So daughter just graduated high school in 2019, and he's looking at a 2017 Chevy.
It was like a Chevy Malibu. Something like that, or Impala. Wow. Yeah, rich people.
Yeah. And he's like that. And again, this warranty just can't. He didn't have to pay extra for this.
No, it's straight from the manufacturer. It's a free warranty, and he was buying a used vehicle. Yeah. So the warranty starts when that vehicle rolls off the lot when the first person buys it, right? I mean, yeah, I was a 1.5 years off, but in reality, he knew. He was just trying to get.
Dude's just an idiot. Okay. What else happened in the beginning?
It's a lot of like shadowing, because especially when you're dealing with like the finance stuff. The finance stuff is crazy because there's not much that I can do. Yeah. All I can do is put in on your credit application what you tell me. If you lie to me, the deal's not going through, because the banks know. They can see your whole credit history and stuff like that. Yeah. I've had so many people lie to me. Like, they'll say, yeah, I make about $5,000. Bank asks for income verification. Okay, I make $2,000. It's like, all right, cool. Or it's like, yeah, no, we'll run through, the application looks perfect, and then the bank asks, hey, why does this person have 2 other vehicles on their name? It's like, why do you need a 3rd vehicle? Like, what's the point? They're not going to give you another fucking car loan. It's having those conversations. You learn how to talk to people like that. And then also what's called the menu. That's the biggest learning thing is learning the menu, right? So you learn what a customer is approved for. So you get the rate and terms and stuff like that, monthly payments. But then you have all the add-ons. All the stuff that you make your money, and learning how to pitch those. Really, the warranties is the biggest thing. So yeah, that was a lot of training on that, a lot of watching. stuff on that.
Back to the whole doing some test drives wrong, being a little off on the warranty. There wasn't like anything.
Well, so test drive is weird because it depends. When it came to test drives, it depends on how you and I hit it off. If you were a douchebag right off the bat, you were getting the shortest test drive possible, and I was gonna deal with you as little as possible, because it was either you're gonna buy this vehicle from me whether I'm nice to you or not, or you're just wasting my time and I'm moving on to the next customer, right? So we had test drive routes that we were going on. This one guy, I forget what we were testing out, like a new Suburban, right? It's $100,000 vehicle. We wanted to look at it.
Holy cow! Okay,
awesome, cool. I'll sell you $100,000 vehicle all day. We were going on this test drive, and I was kind of like guiding him and whatever. But then he got on the highway. I was like, all right. Some people like to get on the highway, so it's just like, all right, we'll just go down to 35, loop around, whatever, no big deal. He went past the exit. I was like, all right. We're just going for it. And then we kept going past exits. I was like, dealership. He's like, yeah. No, I'm just driving. You know, I'm just kind of getting a feel for it.
Awkward.
And we ended up in Minneapolis, right? So that's a good drive. Yeah. And I started getting a little creeped out because I'm just in the back, and it's a husband and wife, and they're arguing the whole time that he's driving. So he's barely even paying attention to the road. And then in the back, I quickly text my sales manager. I'm like, Moose, I have no idea where I am at this point. We're on this test drive, and the dude is not listening to me. He's just driving. Yeah. And I send him my location. I'm like, just in case.
Yikes.
It eventually turned out just fine. But I did have this one lady. I've ended 2 test drives. This first one was real bad because this lady was nuts. She was screaming all the time. She couldn't control herself, nothing. We were on this test drive of this piece of shit vehicle, and we're driving down 61, and for those that don't know it, it's a makeshift highway because you can go almost 55, 60, but there's a lot of cars, right? There's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of stoplights. She blows past the stoplight completely. It's red. Fucking flies through it. I was like, all right, what the fuck? And then she's swerving a little bit, she's like, I'm testing out the suspension. I'm like, that's not how you do it. But she's swerving through the lanes like this. And I'm just like, all right, what the fuck? And then we stop at a stoplight finally. And then she kind of turns like this. I'm like, all right, that's weird, whatever. And as soon as it hits green, she floors it. She's going into the opposite side of traffic. We're on the whole other end of 61. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? All right, turn around. Dealership. She's like, I'm testing the vehicle out. Dealership.
Yeah, but driving like you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The people that will go into a dealership are just nuts. Especially the ones that want to look at Corvettes.
No.
Especially when they know they can't afford it.
So some questions here to wrap it up. Getting started in car sales. Let's say I am a 24-year-old in rural Indiana, and I want to get started in car sales at a Walser dealership.
Okay.
What advice would you give that individual for just the interview, resume, applying, all that?
Have some kind of sales experience.
How many years?
At least 2.
Does sales at Walmart count?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Be able to talk to other human beings. Be able to have actual conversations with people of all different craziness and non-craziness.
So not just guys?
No.
Girls too?
Girls too. Be gentlemanly, and actually be, have manners, the works. I mean, the list goes on. If the specific individual wanted to work at a dealership, would need to experience in life first before it could ever go down a road like that.
Well, you started at, 23, 24?
Yeah, I was more mature.
But you were, more experienced. Yeah.
More mature.
Again, for the interview, you kind of talked about, for you sold them on, you're a good upseller. Now doing car sales, you would really want to make sure you brought up, because
Well,
something they might be listening for?
It's all upsells, right? Any idiot can sell a car. Selling a car is the easiest thing in the entire world. All you have to do is, because odds are when somebody goes into a dealership, they're there to look at the car that they've already looked at online.
Yeah.
They just want to see it in person, make sure it's the right fit, and then they're buying it. The only thing that influence a person in actually buying a car is the price. And even then, they already know what the price is. So then it all just comes down to upselling, because upselling is the only way you make your money in a dealership like I worked at. There's some people where they work off a draw, so they have to sell a certain amount of cars per month or whatever to make a certain amount. For me, it was all about upsell. Upsell was the only way you made money.
So that's the secret in the interview. Be the best, just be the absolute best upseller. All right. If you did the training again, is there anything you would tell that person starting in car sales to really pay attention to, or something maybe you wish you paid more attention to?
Trim levels and packages, because especially with Chevy, they have 100 different packages, and some of them go with certain trim levels that don't go with certain trim levels, and then there's certain trim levels that have exclusive packages. It's really confusing. I never even fully got it down. There's LT, Premiers. That's like the levels of a vehicle.
Yeah.
But then within those trim levels, there's also packages that have certain amenities in a vehicle, like a truck with an RST package, or the off-roading package, or you have like the red line editions of the Equinoxes that are blacked out and then have like the red stripe, but then they're bare bones on the inside, so they look like shit on the inside. There's a million different packages and stuff like that. I wish I paid attention more to that, because I never even fully got it down till a year in. It took me a while.
Well, I guess there's so many different models, and then you got used cars, not just new. Yeah, okay.
Electric cars, the works.
And electric, yep. So I guess last question, again, helping out a new person that wants to get started in car sales. Let's say they get hired, they go through training, and they get a customer that they know has like no money.
Oh.
Straight up. What advice would you give them? This guy's got like the 420 credit score. His job's like McDonald's or Walmart or something.
So
he's looking at like the nicest Duramax in the Chevy dealership.
Right. So that's one of those, you do it a couple different ways. And it kind of depends on the time of day, especially if it's a Saturday. You have no business with those people. That's one of those, hey, I'd love to show it to you, but we're by appointment only. I can't help you today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's the secret. Make an appointment. Okay.
That, or if they won't go away, it's hey, I can get you on a credit application. We have one online. You can either do it at home. Otherwise, here's a piece of paper. Come on back when you have it finished, and we'll run you through, and I'll let you know what the banks say. Those are the two things as I hurry up, because they're not ready to do anything.
And could you kind of tell these people right away who they were, like kind of by how they dressed, and if like they smelled like dope and that kind of thing? So
not always, because in Minnesota we have a lot of like the Indian reservation type of stuff, and they have money, but sometimes you want to be able to fully see that. But then at the same time too, car dealerships are the biggest attraction to people money laundering. So even like the druggies and all that stuff, they have cash on hand ready to go. So you can't really base that too much.
But they got cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you start filling out that application, you have to go through the motions. To get to the credit application part, depends on the customer. It could take an hour, or it could take 10 minutes before you're ready to do that. Mm-hmm. Once you start filling in that income and you send it off, you already know. I can tell you right away if you're going to get approved or not. If I think you're not getting approved, I'm sending you to lunch, or I'm sending you home, and I'll call you when it's ready, because it's going to take the bank some time. Is usually what I say. Yeah. Sometimes it takes the banks 10 minutes if you're going to get approved.
So you're talking about how customers sometimes will lie or fib numbers. Like how exact do you got to be? Like if you ask, what's your monthly income, or how much you make every paycheck or something.
So I always said, are you salary or hourly? And if you told me you were hourly, I just double checked full time, 40 hours a week, or you work a little overtime? Like, where are you at with that? And then I do all the
Oh,
calculations myself.
okay. So you don't just give me a number. All right, and that's probably good because I'm sure people will be all over the place. Yeah.
I asked one guy what regular monthly income was. He gave me a number that was $2,000 off. It was $2,000 less. It was a make or break for the car deal.
Otherwise, any other bizarre customers or interactions in the early days, the very first couple weeks?
Yeah, but it's a bigger one. We can.
Okay. We'll save it for the next one about customers. All right.